have the whole chat room wishing my wife a happy 15th wedding anniversary.
Oh, that's amazing.
Wow.
Congratulations, Terry. That's awesome. Wow, 15 years.
Shouldn't we be wishing you the happy 15th wedding anniversary, Terry?
No, we should be wishing his wife.
My privilege. Yeah, it's been my privilege and my wife's probably sentence, but
well, congratulations. 15 years is a nice milestone.
Yeah. Seems like an eternity for her, probably.
I have human beings that aren't entitled yet.
I can't imagine being married to me for 15 years.
Terry, technically we worked together for what, 8 years now?
Oh gosh, yeah. Almost 10 total.
Well, I guess no, it was actually about 6. So it was right around, I think I already started Linux Academy before we met.
No, actually it was still, you were just launching Linux Academy. When I started, I was doing stuff mainly for Pinehead TV.
By the way,
but we had the login on it though. So it's March, I don't know when it was, but it's March 2012 when we launched Linux Academy.
Yeah, but I started doing blogs on the old Pinehead blog. That was the first thing I did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, did you know? I don't know if you know this, but
story time.
Pinehead, this guy.
Yeah.
The original version of Linux Academy I launched it when I was 16. I was working on an internet service provider.
Wow.
It was Pinehead. I don't want to say it because it probably has bad stuff on there. I was a 16.
I was young.
Yeah, but it was a Linux and PHP how-to blog. Launched when I was 16.
Really?
I was using Slackware.
That was the era.
Had a whole bunch of people linking to it. I got Slashdot linked on Slashdot, and so I was getting 300,000 hits a month on it.
Yeah, Slashdot.
And I closed it because I was dumb. But
but it lives on in some form.
It does. And it does actually. When we brought Pinehead TV back, one of the things we had on there was space stuff, and it got Slashdot in.
Huh?
Yeah, and that was one of the things that we got. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
What up, everybody?
Hello.
We're just kind of making sure the stream works.
Yeah, story time. We start the stream with a story.
Story time.
That's actually not a bad way to start.
It's not. Yeah, that's true.
And also, congratulations to Terry for 15 years. But we have a lot to get into today. It is the Great 200.
So should we start?
Or
did you just start?
I'm kind of starting.
Okay, I feel like you started. All right, well, you can continue starting then.
It is the Great 200. Yeah. But I'm not Anthony James.
200 plus. So story time.
Yeah.
We said in April we were going to launch 70 plus. It was like 180.
Right.
And
then
overshot.
Yeah, just a little bit.
It's managing expectations, right? Managing expectations.
Sure.
So then in July it was 150, and it was 299 total.
That's a big overshoot.
Yeah. And then
it's set my expectations high now.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it almost seems unrealistic,
Yeah.
right? So you have 200, and we're well into the 300 at this point.
Really?
So, yeah.
So it is the Great 200 plus.
200 plus.
Yeah.
Seems like it's supersized.
Well, I'm Chris. That guy's Anthony.
Founder and CEO and...
What?
VP
of Community. Yeah, and founder of Jupiter. I thought you were going to keep going.
No.
Plug the old Twitter handle or something like that. This is the Linux Academy Great 200, number 2 live stream, and we are joined by a whole great cast of characters.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So welcome everybody in the live show. Let's turn on our recording voices. And now we're joined again. We had our live show on Monday. We had a lot of announcements, pretty cool stuff in there. It is on the content box on linuxacademy.com when you log in, or if you go to linuxacademy.com/blog, our Monday announcements are on there. Now you're going to want to subscribe to that or hit the YouTube video subscribe button right now, because not only does our content team have an amazing November set out for us, yesterday we pushed out new user profiles. 2 weeks ago, we launched new Cloud Playground beta. We launched instant terminals. Last week, we launched geo-based instant terminals, geo-based terminals for Cloud Playground. Then every single new learning activity and hands-on lab launching on this week or this month has our new instant lab platform enabled on it, which we'll demo. So bam, instead of waiting for resources to deploy,
you get it now.
It's there. It takes 1 second instead of 5 to 10 minutes. So
no more waiting.
Make sure you follow me, Anthony D. James, on Twitter. You can follow Linux Academy at Komm. I'm giving away a ton of vouchers this month and gems and maybe a golden Yeti, some hoodies, some good stuff. And we are joined by Terry Cox and Thomas Hazlitt. Terry, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and everybody else?
Welcome, everybody, to linuxacademy.com and our channel. And today I'm going to introduce Travis Thompson, who's going to be talking about his course today. Unfortunately, that's all I have on today's stream, but I've got quite a bit of stuff coming later on.
Ooh. So it's a big day for Thomas Hazlitt and his team then. So Thomas, why don't you introduce yourself and everybody else?
Hey, everybody, Thomas Hazlitt. You may know me from, well, the site that you like to frequent to learn and develop skills in everything IT, but
Facebook.
Exactly. One of the one of the reasons we're here today is we have a lot of AWS announcements. Teams have been working really hard for the last quarter to develop some really new and awesome courses, some updates to some existing courses, some brand new courses in some new technologies and topics that are becoming really hot in IT right now. So we have joining us some AWS Linux Academy team veterans. We have Craig Arcuri and Fernando Medina. And we also have some newcomers who I think are going to be on live stream for the first time. We have Mark Richmond and Tia Williams, who recently joined Linux Academy earlier this year. And they just completed their first courses, their first standalone courses. So really excited to have them join the live stream today and announce what they have developed. And I think you're all really going to like what we have cooking for you on the AWS side. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited. And let's just get right into it, I guess.
Let's get right into it then with the trivia question that we asked, I believe, last time as well. Let's see who remembers it. What was the first service that was released on AWS? I'm going to go with Lambda. I'm totally just kidding. It was not, no.
Well, you know, my first thought, I mean, I could take a guess, but I don't want to like, well, I'll just say, I think there's been enough time. I would say my first guess would have been S3. That would have been because that's what really stood out as like the service to me was S3. So let's see. We have RDS is coming in.
Oh yeah, our first one was a winner.
Yeah, we have S3 as well. S3. Yeah. So okay, so, all right. So EC2. A couple other people thought S3.
It's Simple Queue Service.
Simple Queue Service, which was released in 2004.
2004. You know, I graduated high school in 2002. So that was go Amazon.
Feels like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And now all of the things which we will be talking more about.
All right, marketing's going to work with you, but let's get into the meat and potatoes of why we're here today, so we can demo some stuff as well. Let's see here, Mark. I hope you're ready to talk about the new course, Amazon Elastic Container Service, or I don't know the name of it, right? It could be Amazon EC2 Container Service, but it's Amazon ECS. Mark, why don't you tell us a little bit about this course, what you'll learn?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Greetings from sunny Orlando, Florida. So what's this course all about? So this is a deep dive course into Amazon Elastic Container Service, or ECS. Actually used to be called EC2 Container Service. They renamed it a little while ago. If you're not familiar with what ECS is, it's a container orchestration service for Docker containers. And this course is for anyone with a little experience with Docker and containers and some exposure to AWS. And if you already have some ECS experience, this course will help you take it to the next level. So there are 5 main sections to this course I put together. So the first section is what Amazon ECS is and what it's all about. So we'll cover some different use cases for it and where you might use it, and how it compares to other AWS services like Elastic Beanstalk or the newer EKS, the Elastic Kubernetes service. And then we talk about the overall architecture of ECS. So we'll learn how to create a cluster from scratch. And we'll talk about Fargate, which is an easy way to deploy containers without having to manage EC2 instances yourself, which is really cool. And then we'll talk about task definitions and services. And this is how we describe our applications to ECS and how to load balance and auto scale those services. And then we'll work through a sample application. So this is a sample microservices-based application, and I'll show you how to get that deployed into ECS as well. And then we'll talk about monitoring in a production environment. So CloudWatch, logs and metrics for your ECS cluster, and then some design patterns and best practices. So I'll show you how to implement things like batch processing and how to integrate ECS into your CI/CD system. And then we have something really unique to Linux Academy, which is a number of hands-on learning activities where you'll get to work with your own ECS cluster in a real AWS environment, applying all these concepts I just mentioned. So we think this is the best ECS course out there, and I know you'll love it. Anthony?
Mark, that was a great explanation. I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And you know, what's really great about the ECS courses, we actually do a lot with ECS at Linux Academy and Kubernetes now. But, you know, the thing about the ECS courses, there's so much great stuff with containers and orchestration going on there. And it's kind of a native service to AWS. So be sure to check that out. Now, what's kind of funny here is, when it's not funny, but if you or your team might be interested or looking to get training on ECS. Now, I don't know how many people know this, but Linux Academy actually has a B2B platform for managing team training. You can have your own custom teams, your own team leads, your own custom learning paths.
Right.
And this was actually a result of one of our most requested courses that it came out on there. So it's really cool. And again, all of these have, I'm just plugging our new features right now because they're really, they're really cool. We haven't had this many new features in a long time, but all of these have instant lab enabled on it. And in fact, we're going to do a quick quest to see if it really works. While we're doing that, I'm curious if somebody in the channel, I'm going to give away 100 gems. I'm going to give away 100 gems.
All right.
To the person that can get within 10,000 of how many videos on average are watched per week at Linux Academy.
All right.
How many videos on average are watched per week as I go through this quest?
All right.
Quick.
That's a good one. I was going to say too, Mark, the feedback in the chat room for the new course is outrageously great. People are super stoked about it. So people love this stuff. Now, I think I have insider information on this.
I think you have.
I don't think I can guess.
I don't think you can either.
Yeah.
If by insider information, you mean that on the screen. You're probably right. So while we're doing that,
it's totally right in front
while
of
we're
me.
doing that. So look, I'm going to go to our new learning center and I can see the latest content. I can even filter by type if I want to look at just course or hands-on learning activity. But I'm just going to randomly select, let's see here, migrating a database using DMS. I'm just going to randomly select one of the most recent ones added. It's going to pop up here. And I'm going to click Start Activity. Now, our director of lab services is probably sweating watching this live stream right now because this is brand new. And he's like, is this going to work? We're just going to hit Start. And resources deployed. I have a live environment right there available to me. And let me make sure that's paused. I got my instant terminal if I launch EC2 instances as part of that, so I can connect to it without having to have port 22 open on my corporate network. And as always, every single one of our hands-on learning activities has a diagram associated with it.
Beautiful.
So, pretty cool stuff.
Beautiful.
So we have a lot of guesses.
I saw a couple go by. Renee, I saw Renee got pretty close.
Some of you really think we have a lot of people, and other people think we don't have a lot of people.
Pretty low, yeah. Peter's getting close there.
Yeah.
I've seen about 3 close guesses. Those of you in the 100,000 range are getting there, but you're still a little low. Those of you that have overshot might be too high.
We're going to just let marketing pick it so we can move on, or our production crew, which is part of our marketing team. But 140,000 on average per week videos are watched at Linux Academy. This month, in the month of October, we had 44,000 hands-on labs taken, which, because of our instant lab platform, is increasing. You don't have to wait 5 or 10 minutes to take this stuff. Now you can take it as many times as you want.
They're doing it more now.
Yeah,
of course. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. You ready for the next one?
Let's do the next announcement. Let's hear it. Craig, are you ready to talk about the learning activities of Amazon Web Services Certified Solutions Architect Professional Level? But before you do, I want to talk about this a little bit because one of the things is our AWS CSA current professional course out there has been pretty solid. We have great pass rates. The interfaces are a little bit outdated. So we were actually updating it this quarter.
Sure.
And was about approximately 2 weeks ago, Amazon comes out and says, here's a brand new exam. Now, we had to pivot, right? You're going to want the latest stuff. So we had to pivot a little bit. But to build the interactive diagrams, the hands-on labs, and then all the training and flashcards that go with it, it takes Linux Academy approximately 3 months. Now, if you wanted us to just throw a whole bunch of information and exam dumps on a PowerPoint and produce a low-quality course, it would take about 4.5 weeks, okay? But the high-quality course takes approximately 3 months, and a lot of work specifically professional level for our training architects.
Yeah.
So we're happy to say that, we threw away all the old stuff because you're going to want the updated, because we were in the middle of reproducing it. We threw it away, we pivoted, and we have the learning activities for the AWS CSA Pro course. But Craig, why don't you go ahead and just tell us all of what's going on here?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody, for joining today. And as Anthony said, I've created 20 learning activities for the AWS SA Pro course. Now, the course is being updated by Amazon, and we try to anticipate some of that. But there's certainly parts of the old course that are still valid, and we reproduced some of the learning activities in a way that it's new and fresh with our diagrams. But I'm counting 10 of these learning activities that have completely fresh services that you should expect to see when you take the updated SA Pro exam. And they lag behind, the exam lags behind what they're presenting almost weekly, but we've caught up with that. And some of the services that you'll see in these learning activities, web application firewalls, protecting against common attacks. There's a learning activity on AWS config and CloudFormation. I added a learning activity, and I enjoyed this when it was on tagging and resource groups. And then one I was really excited about, interregion VPC peering. So that's a big one. Mm-hmm. And there's some acrobatics that we can do from the command line to be able to share a key pair between regions. So that was pretty cool. I'm a big CloudFormation guy, and there's a good sprinkling of CloudFormation throughout the learning activities, and also a learning activity specific to CloudFormation. Now, one of the things that you should definitely expect to see heavily on the updated Pro exam are application load balancers and network load balancers. So I wanted to make sure that I gave that ample coverage. There's a learning activity on Docker, and I did one on disaster recovery. It's just something that I think is maybe not covered as much as it should be. So I think that we really covered anticipated these changes pretty well, and we'll have a very good coverage of what's going to be presented by Amazon.
So I appreciate that awesome explanation. Yeah. And I want to actually answer a question real quick on the YouTube. It says SA Pro 2019, isn't that still in beta? It is. And kind of what we were talking about there is the current CSA Pro course that we have is for the current non-beta exam. And that exam hasn't been updated in approximately really since it was launched. So that course is still solid for the current one. You're going to learn everything you need to pass that exam. But AWS did launch the new beta Certified Solutions Architect professional level. And we like having updated content. So we're watching that. We're working on that. Mm-hmm. Will some of these change after beta changes? Beta's pretty solid usually. Right. We have a lot of experience with this.
Yeah, when it gets to that stage, definitely. Yeah. And it's really addressing that problem. Vandal in the chat room says, I bought an AWS book. It was published last year. It's already out of date. The pictures are out of date. It doesn't do me any good. Linux Academy trying to address those kinds of problems.
Amazon, they're a cloud provider. They do amazing things. We love Amazon, but they're not, we're a training company. We build tools to help our students be successful, and we build the content. It's kind of like, I don't want to compare us to Apple, but Apple builds the hardware and the software. We build the tools and the training to go with those tools. But, because we're a training company, that's what we're focusing on. Our internal tool set, we're watching that. We're developing network relationships.
Actually, I think watching is a big part of what we do, is watching where AWS is going to know what kind of content and match it up with what students are asking for.
Absolutely. Is it up to date? Now, the big funny
Where's it going? What's next?
Yeah. The funny thing with AWS is, sometimes the impression is because the GUI interface is different, it's out of date.
Right.
But sometimes it's just a different GUI interface, actually, most of the time.
A lot of times the fundamentals are still the same, too.
For the certification. So that was awesome. Just an update on that. But we have another AWS course.
Hold on. Anthony, can I stop you though before you switched already?
Oh, well, so let me do my launch and then we'll go back. So we're announcing the AWS Certified Big Data Complete Refresh course after Tom talks. Fernando's going to give us a little bit of an update about.
I was just trying to squeeze in there before you switch slides over there. But so for the AWS, for the Solutions Architect Professional, so Adrian Cantrill, who is, he lives in Australia, which is why he's not on the live stream today. It's the middle of the night for him, but he's currently working on the video lessons, the course, the main meat of the course there for the CSA Pro. And he's taken the Orion papers. So what we use is the interactive diagrams in the Solutions Architect Associate level, and he has created and modified that to the Orion Papers Pro. So that course is getting the full Orion Papers treatment, full interactive diagrams, and it's going to be the most up-to-date, awesome, interactive, hands-on learning course for solutions architect professional on the market. So that the complete course is going to be will be launched as a whole in beginning of January 2019. So we're really looking forward to getting that all out to you. But as for right now, we do have those 20 learning activities that are live for any one of you to take. So just wanted to make that clear, and I'll kick it back over to you guys, and we can talk about the new big data specialty course with Fernando Medina who did an amazing job on this. Guys got to hear what's going on here.
Go, Fernando.
Yeah, Fernando.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining the stream, and looking forward to sharing with you a little bit more about this course. So as many of you know, we've had a big data specialty course for a while now that's hopefully helped some of you pass the exam. But what we wanted to do was really take that older course and bring it up to date with a lot of the new different things that we've been adding to many of our AWS courses and many of our non-AWS courses as well. Specifically in this course, all of the lessons will be following a diagram that you can interact with, like many of the AWS courses that you've been familiar with recently. And in addition to just kind of using that to study, there's also an entire project that we'll be building out through the entire course. So you'll be working in all 6 of the domains that AWS will be testing you on for this exam. And throughout the actual lessons, you'll see how you can build projects with each of the technologies that are in those domains. So you'll be collecting data from a kind of fake IoT device and sending it into AWS through the IoT core. Then you'll be taking that data and you'll be processing it with different processing tools, or kind of moving it through the collection process with Kinesis, and then going on to bring it into a tool like Redshift for analysis, and making sure you're securing all of your tools effectively throughout that process. And finally, towards the end, visualizing some of the data that you've moved through that entire system. So the really cool thing about the course is you not only get the lessons into the actual kind of fundamentals of those different topics, you'll also see how those get applied as you're learning the material, and you'll have the ability to take some learning activities as well that are independent actually from that entire project that gets built. And the nice thing about this is I'll also be continuing to add on learning activities through the next few months, so that you'll see more and more content in this course that is just completely independent from that project that I mentioned. That's just additional help really to get you more of an understanding of those particular services and how they interact. I'm looking forward to sharing this with you soon, and I hope you all like it.
Great explanation, Fernando. And answer a question. Somebody says, is this only learning activities, or is it with the entire updated course? So
great question. Yeah. So in addition to the, it's both. So that's the easiest answer. So the learning activities that you see here are the ones that are currently associated with the course, but I'll be adding additional ones on top of these to supplement the material that we already have. So there are, I think, something like 80 lessons right now on the course. Don't quote me on the exact number. It might be a few less or a few more. But those will cover all the kind of fundamental bits of information surrounding tools like Kinesis and the different processing services, and also Lambda, and actually new material that AWS has started to include on that big data exam as they've been adding core services to their big data offerings, or just kind of expecting you to know how different services that maybe aren't traditionally thought of as big data tools really fit in with everything else. The only thing to note is that it is a certified specialty exam, which means that there is going to be some knowledge that's expected from you from previous, either from previous certifications or just kind of baseline AWS knowledge. So that is one thing to keep in mind when you're going into this course and into this exam, is that there's no way for us to cover everything that you need to know for this exam in one course, or else we'd have to go back and reteach you all of the AWS fundamentals and all of the things about a lot of different services that are included in, say, the certified solutions architect or certified developer course. So it's looking forward to sharing a bunch of this with you, and I hope you like it.
Yeah, one of the sorry, if I can jump in here. So one of the interesting things actually that AWS did just in the last month or so is that it used to be that in order to take a specialty exam or one of the pro exams, you had to have passed either the cloud practitioner or one of the associate level exams. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. So that's actually dropped that requirement, and so you can have no certifications, no AWS certifications. You can go sit for a professional exam, or you can sit for a specialty. Now, I wouldn't recommend that unless you've taken the requisite courses or have the requisite experience to go and sit for those particular exams. So, I wouldn't go and sit for the Solutions Architect Pro exam if you haven't taken the Solutions Architect Associate course and exam. So even though you may see that you can now take those specialty and professional level exams without any prerequisites, to actually sit and take them from Amazon, I highly suggest that you do take the lower level courses, the beginner and the associate level courses, if you are new to AWS and don't have those requisite years of experience, and build up that skill set first before you come in and take a course like the Big Data Specialty and then go sit for that exam. That will just set you up for success. If you try to come right into these courses cold for the first time without having any other AWS experience, then you might just be kind of setting yourself up for a more difficult path. So we have a ton of AWS content on our site, everything from absolute beginner to essentials, which we'll get to in a second, into the intermediate and advanced levels. So I highly suggest that you all go in and take a look at the various offerings that we have, and make sure that you have the right path to success.
Yeah, and there was a question in there that said, how do we stay updated with AWS certification announcements and types of things? So what I'm going to say is, again, I'm going to not require you. I'm going to say, hey, if you want to follow and stay updated, not only on what's new at Linux Academy, but content updates, certification updates. We try to cover all of that important information in 2 minutes or less, sometimes 4 minutes, and 2 minutes or less on the Linux Academy weekly update. So it's not just about what's Linux Academy doing. It's some of it's that, but the other side of that is Chris Fisher just so happens to have a show that also covers news and updates on industry things. And in fact, why don't you tell us a little bit about that? There was something big that happened this week, wasn't it?
Yeah. So first of all, check out linuxactionnews.com if you just want to stay up to date. That show's about 30 minutes. It'll cover the range of the industry: open source, Linux, AWS, Google Cloud, Azure. All of that is covered in Linux Action News. But Anthony warned me. He's like, I might ask you what the story of the week is, and it's not.
Let's see how good Linux Action. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not too surprising when I tell you that the Linux community this week is all up in an uproar because it looks like the new Apple hardware will not be able to run Linux initially. The new security chip Apple is putting in there may currently be preventing Linux from booting.
What?
Yeah. I guess it's just not high on the priority list. But you know what?
That's based off FreeBSD.
I say this: give the community 2 months tops. Problem solved.
Well, we said that about getting rid of like USB ports too, but
yeah,
it's still dongle city.
They'll get Linux on there. They'll get it on there. Yeah, that's the big upset this week that everybody's talking about. But I don't recommend necessarily getting too worked up. It'll eventually get solved.
Nice. I like that news. Well, I don't like the news, but I like the fact that you had it. But on top of certifications, in what year did AWS launch their certification program for some gems?
In what year? That was a huge moment. Once AWS did that, the industry really sort of pivoted. So many things.
Fun fact.
Snowball effect there.
We had 2 courses on AWS before there was ever an AWS certification program.
Look at you being all ahead.
Yeah, that's also a fun fact about Linux Academy, some trivia there. Which, hey, Tom, for our company annual party, that's a good trivia question, that you're working on there.
It's true. All right. We got 2008 coming in, 2012. Now, remember.
Oh, Marcel did it.
Oh, there we have it.
2013. Good job, Marcel.
Nice.
All right.
Busting it out. I wonder if that was a guess, Marcel, or did you actually know?
He Googled it.
Yeah.
I think it's like 30 seconds that went by. Just quick Googling. Yeah. It's probably like Alexa.
No, you know what?
I wonder how many people.
As soon as we start to say it, he just turns on the dictation for the Google search, and then I shouldn't give ideas.
Alexa, what year did?
All right, you ready?
All right, let's do another one. Tia, are you ready to talk about the new and updated AWS Essentials course on linuxacademy.com?
Hey guys, first I want to say how excited I am to be a part of the launch today. My course was AWS Essentials, and the course is really for those who are new to AWS. And I like the course because we really focused on trying to speak in plain language. So using a lot of terminology that's easy for beginners. And we cover a lot of topics in the course, everything from VPCs to EC2, S3, RDS, and DynamoDB. And we even cover services like CloudWatch, CloudTrail, SNS, and Lambda. We added a lot of hands-on learning activities to the course. I think all in all, there are about 21 different learning activities and quizzes. So by the time you're finished with the course, it'll really help you to be really well-rounded with your understanding of AWS. And I'll also say that I'm really excited to kind of get feedback from the community because this is my first course with Linux Academy. So thanks a lot.
We're super excited about it. We have, it's a brand new course, and you've even done some kind of weekly, like some of those announcements around some like free tier stuff. You've done some videos on that. So, it's really exciting.
I'm taking this is what I'm taking for sure.
This is a bit bittersweet for me. I have to say. So, the AWS Essentials course, I originally created that, and it was launched about 2 years ago. And it was the first course that I ever did with interactive diagrams, Project Omega. And so I'm sad to see it go, but working with Tia and having her take over the reins on this course, she took Project Omega, updated now to Project Omega 2.0, completely redid the course to incorporate all of the brand new AWS UI and interfaces, expanded out the learning activities in the course, and has just taken it to complete another level. So I'm honored to pass the torch of the AWS Essentials course off to Tia. I think she did an amazing job with it. And so it's again sad to see some of my old courses go, but that's just part of the deal. Is we bring in amazing new training architects that can come in and create amazing content for everyone out there. So great job, Tia, and I'm just super excited.
Yeah, I had big shoes to fill.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, go ahead. What were you saying? I missed it.
I just said, trying to do a course behind Tom. Those are really big shoes to fill. But I'm excited to hear what everybody thinks.
Now it's in good hands. Now
you did a great job.
Yeah,
it's one of those things. Like we want to keep the content updated, and we also Tom Hazlitt, whatever we want to call him. He's VP of Curriculum Development, which part of that means instructional design, standards. How do we deliver content? How do we make sure our students are successful? Which means our standards change. And our standards have changed a lot, and AWS has changed a lot. And we need to frequently keep our content updated with our own new standards for student success, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
We focus on building content to help people be student successful or successful.
Yeah.
So let's go to another one.
All right, you ready?
Thompson, are you ready?
Oh.
We have an extension for our Docker and container orchestration hands-on labs. Travis, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so the first thing I think that people are going to see is hands-on, and what exactly does that mean? It means that this course is completely consisting of learning activities and absolutely no videos where I go through a demo. So how this works is that each section, which there are 4 of, I kind of give a general explanation of what we're going to be going over. And then you will be presented with the scenario within the learning activity. And then you just go through, take a look at the instructions and try and complete them. Now, if you are having problems with this, there is a solution video, so you can go and follow along there. So I think this is pretty exciting. It's definitely very different from the previous courses I've worked on. I really had a lot of fun with it. The first section is called Doing More with Docker, where we kind of take things a little bit further. And one thing I did forget to mention, this course is really geared for people that have a good understanding of how Docker works along with Kubernetes. In the Doing More with Docker section, we start talking about how to go and do different things with logging for your containers. I also talk about Watchtower, which is a really cool feature. It's actually a container that goes and monitors your containers for changes. So if you go and make a change and push it up to Docker Hub, Watchtower will go and detect that change, stop your container gracefully, restart it back up, and then you have a new version of that container running. Then we move on to talking about how to go and tag your containers with labels, how to go and load balance your containers using 2 methods. The first one being Nginx, and the second method is using Docker Swarm to load balance. And then we move on to how to go and deploy out your Docker container services using Docker Compose. Now, I did see that there was a question about Prometheus in the chat. I do have 2 learning activities that do cover Prometheus. The first one is a very basic how to go and get things going with Prometheus, monitoring your containers. And then I talk about how to go and use Grafana with Prometheus, as well as not just monitoring your containers, but also going and monitoring your Docker servers as well.
Sorry, go ahead.
Prometheus
deep dive this quarter?
Yes, I am working on the Prometheus deep dive. It's Prometheus and Kubernetes.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. And that's a fantastic explanation. I don't know if you saw this, but while you were doing it, I went over to our new learning center. And, since this is learning activities, but all of our learning activities are designed to be independently consumable. So let's say you don't want to learn or go through an entire giant course. You just want to, hey, I just want to play with Docker Compose. So you can go, yeah, you just want to stay up to date. Yeah. You got a couple minutes at lunch. Let's just stay up to date and learn something. It's continuous education.
Yeah.
So I just went in, I typed Compose, and I see this new learning activity. It says build services with Docker Compose. Again, Director of Lab Services is probably sweating quite a bit right now. I'm going to hit start activity. Let's see if it's correct.
It'll always work.
It's already deployed.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
It's already deployed.
That's so great.
I think I can click on this and it'll log me in to follow along. Let's see what happens here. Connecting. I'm already logged in.
Good to go.
It's good to go.
Get right to it.
It's all hands on. So Travis, and I know where you're still going. Did you have anything else you want to say about the course or what's going on?
Oh, yeah, sure. The next two sections, we have more stuff about working with Docker Swarm, as well as doing container orchestration with Kubernetes. And we'll actually be using Docker with Kubernetes.
Oh, yeah. I've been curious about that too.
People are going to love that.
You can use different Docker kind of daemons control. You got Rocket you can use on there with Kubernetes. There's lots of stuff you can use.
Yeah.
Let's, we should probably head back over.
Should we continue?
We should continue
on. All right. Well, why don't we just all think about something for a moment? Let's all ask ourselves, because this one I think is going to stump everybody, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I happen to know this one off the top of my head, luckily. But did you already look? You already looked.
I did.
Okay.
I'm totally shocked by this.
I know, me too.
I'm totally shocked by
what
this.
percentage of users run containers on multiple public clouds? What percentage of users run containers on multiple public clouds?
Our teams that are watching right now at Linux Academy, we have customer success teams for our B2B product. We have sales teams. This is good information. You should probably pay attention to this.
Yeah, and I double checked. It seems like the number is legit too. Like when I saw that number, I was like, I gotta look
yeah.
I gotta look that up.
Seriously what I was thinking here.
Yeah.
Like there's got to be data to back this up.
Yeah.
But it looks like you fact checked it.
I did.
I
did fact check it. So let's see. We got 60%, 90,
Holy cow,
45,
we
getting
got somebody
close.
pretty close there.
80, 81%, 65, 90%, 20%. You ready for the reveal? It is
The closest person's going to win.
83% of users run
3%
on multiple public clouds. In a way, it kind of makes sense to me because that's the advantage. You can distribute. And if AWS has an outage or Azure has an outage or DigitalOcean, you're not all down. And this was a survey conducted by IDC of container using enterprises. They went out, talked to the customers. Are you using multiple public clouds? And 83% told IDC yes.
That's insane. But if you think about it, right? Some of the hot trends, and we cover it too, serverless, containers, but serverless, it's great. You can deploy code to different, functions as a service on different providers. But if you think about it, all it's doing is executing code in a container.
Right.
So if you had your own container and you had container orchestration, whether it's on premises or in multiple public clouds, you can literally just throw your container wherever you want to go. So you got disaster recovery, you have multi-cloud high availability. You don't need complex architectures. You just run Kubernetes. You just throw your container where you want to go.
Got a big launch weekend? Spin up some infrastructure.
There you go.
All right. Well, let's continue on. We have this. I wouldn't call it a recap. I'd call it a reflection.
A reflection.
Yeah.
And this is something we like talking about from our July launches. So we like to launch content on a 3-month process. We actually had a little bit longer one this quarter, which we don't really do anymore. We're going to launch again in January. So make sure to join us for that. But some of the good ones that you should be aware of, we have implementing a full CI/CD pipeline. We cover a lot of Jenkins. We do have Jenkins announcements coming this month, by the way. Google Cloud Platform Professional Data Engineer. We have 100% coverage of all AWS and Google certifications. We have people in flight right now working on the new Azure certifications with Chef Basic Fluency course, SaltStack Certified Engineer. Yeah. Maybe you just want to take a deep dive though.
Yeah.
We have a SaltStack deep dive as well.
I like that.
We have full support for the Red Hat Certified Architect. And we're probably going to have to look at maybe adding some OpenSUSE because
really
people don't seem to like the IBM situation going on there. Yeah. But Red Hat Certified Specialist in Ansible Automation and OpenStack Foundation Certified OpenStack Administrator. So that's 6 of our 200 plus that we launched in July. But check it out. Make sure you check out the new Learning Center. It shows latest updates, certifications, and then filter by that.
Yeah.
And then let's just do a quick recap on some of the new features that we launched. Again, super important that you hit subscribe, follow our blog, follow me, Anthony D. James on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, because we are launching, I think we've had 6 updates to Cloud Playground just in the past week. You know, the geo-based terminals,
Yep.
the geo-based Instant Labs, Cloud Consoles,
Yep.
which is coming with Azure and Google coming. So Director of Lab Services watching, Ryan. I think we're committed to launching our Google. We have our proof of concept.
Oh,
Now we're integrating it into all of our course author building tools. And that's, I believe, around December 17th. So you can be expecting Q1
in the
to
near future.
see some Google Labs coming out there, Google Sandbox. So Cloud Console, you can deploy out a sandbox environment and just play some of the new AWS features. All of this is included
just part of the
as
membership.
part of your membership.
Part of it.
Now, next big question. When can I get a premium yearly linuxacademy.com discount for Linux Academy?
You mean like some kind of like sale?
Yeah,
like
something like a sale.
like a sale that happens.
We don't really do sales that much anymore, but
There is kind of one big thing coming up.
There
Like,
is-
everybody does a sale.
it happens to be a season
Yeah,
where you got to do a sale.
they've even made like a day out of it.
Yeah.
and-
Well, so it depends. Some people have made months out of it.
It's true.
It's like it's already started for
Yeah.
some people.
yeah.
Black Friday. Join on Black Friday. I think it's 12 o'clock sometime. That I don't know when they're launching it, to be honest with you. Sometime, maybe on Thanksgiving, maybe on Friday.
Good reason
I
to
don't
follow
know.
the Twitter account.
Follow the Twitter. Follow me. Follow Linux Academy Komm. Follow Chris.
Sure.
Jupiter Broadcasting. Follow anybody. But we are going to launch a yearly based promotion. Now, the big news about this, if you sign up for a promotion, and again, make sure you do, because we're moving away from offering promotions, and instead we want to offer more value. The value for the membership, we cover costs of hands-on labs, we cover our full-time training architects, we can ask questions, all of the content we're launching. But when you grab this discount, and existing users can do it, and new users can do it.
Ah.
And it's not just for 1 year. Now, it's a yearly membership,
Yeah.
but it's recurring. As long as you never hit the cancel button, you will always maintain that pricing.
Stay at the price.
Right. And the reason we do that is we want to provide value for long-term learners, those who want to stay here for the long term.
Mm.
You know, we appreciate it. Like, we always appreciate when people share and talk about us and refer us to their companies and businesses. We give swag. And it's just our way of saying thank you, because we want you to have that value. So we launched in March 2012.
Mhm.
And we launched at $5 a month with 6 videos and 1 cloud server. March
6
2012.
videos doing the Great 200 right now. That's just
Yes.
amazing.
And it was $5 a month.
Yeah.
And somebody signed up off the blog. They have $5 a month. I mean, it's a total loss, but you know, our cost of issuing service is way higher than that. But it's our commitment to our individual
That's
users.
awesome.
We love you all. We want you to be successful. We want to say thank you. That's our way of saying thank you.
So that Black Friday deal is one to grab.
Yeah.
So I guess we should probably give the chat room a moment to ask us questions. We've talked about a lot of stuff. If you guys have any questions about anything we've covered or anything we might be talking about in the future, go ahead and ask away. We're watching the YouTube chat right now.
Remember, I tend to give stuff away. And what I mean by that is I tend to say more than I should
Yeah.
on what's coming.
The greatest leaks come right from the top.
Yeah.
That's usually how it works.
Last time we got done, I walked out and they're like, no. I'm like, what do you do? They want to know.
It's on the record now.
Yeah. Now we have to deliver.
Yeah. That's sort of how it works. Once it's on the internet, it never goes away.
Never goes away.
I
That
agree.
means we're never going to go away. You ever think about it like 1,000
Right.
years from now? Do you
Right.
think they're going to see our videos or something?
No,
Probably not.
nah, they got other stuff to watch.
They're going to
Cat
be watching
videos.
and be like, what the heck is going on?
Cat videos always be relevant.
Yeah.
That I do know. So let's see. We have, what kind of tacos do you guys like? Mostly prefer crispy tacos, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm not a big burrito guy.
Yeah, I go
Yeah.
with the beef in there usually with some
Double
cheese.
deckers are good.
Oh yes. Yeah. If I could put some guac in there, I'm all about it. I know, but that's because I'm from the West Coast. Can't help
The
it.
guac?
Yeah.
Turns out I don't dislike guac like
Really?
I thought I did.
Boy.
It's green, but
Yeah.
it's not bad.
I've seen some violent reactions.
Yeah.
So a couple of questions coming about tacos. Multiple
Yeah,
questions.
we
about
have
tacos.
replied. He was very, he said, please reply. I mean, we have been very, we've
That's
talked
so
about tacos. We
That's like
did.
important to the chat room right
Yeah,
now. That's
we
like important.
delivered.
Yeah, street tacos.
Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a
Mm.
second. Who's on the screen there? Tia, Tom, Travis, what kind of tacos do you guys like?
Me personally, I prefer
Crunchy
barbacoa.
tacos.
Yeah, crunchy. All right. Barbecue tacos. All right.
No, barbacoa.
Oh, barbacoa.
I don't know what that is.
I thought it was. I thought he said barbecue taco.
Meat.
Which I got
It's
right.
meat.
It's-
Barbacoa, chorizo. Oh yeah, that's where it's at.
Mm.
It's
So
all
you-
cheese.
Spicy
I'm getting
pork.
really hungry
Lots
now.
of sour cream,
Tacos.
guacamole.
Yeah. this
Yeah,
is
I'll
it.
have veggie tacos with you.
Well, here's what I'll say is apparently we have answered all of the questions.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time in history. So let's tell you what's coming.
Okay.
We have 2 more live shows. We have 2 more opportunities to win a 1-year Linux Academy membership by entering the win. If you go to linuxacademy.com/live, we have next week, or we have, let's see what day.
Tuesday.
Well,
that's this week, but we have a Tuesday and a Thursday live stream next week.
that was this
as well.
week, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have Tuesday of next week and Thursday of next week. We have the other half of our content launches coming, and one more opportunity right now for you to win some gems.
You want to do it? Let's do it.
What was the original project name for Kubernetes?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you go, we actually have a Scale Your Code interview coming out with the co-founder
Yes.
of Kubernetes.
Right.
I don't know if it's out yet, but I had the opportunity to interview him.
Mm-hmm.
And it started as a series of bash scripts.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And so he was actually a developer and went in and was doing architecture stuff, infrastructure. And he said, I don't really want to do any of this. And so his story's great. You'll want to check it out at scaleyourcode.com.
No kidding.
If it's not there, it will be there. Make sure you hit subscribe or follow on our Linux Academy weekly update by subscribing to our YouTube.
No,
Or-
Linux Academy Komm on the YouTube.
Absolutely.
See, a lot of people are saying Borg, which is what I thought it was. See, a lot of people are saying Borg, but the trivia answer machine says that it is Project 7. And as I think about it, that is a reference to 7 of 9 from Star Trek Voyager, who is in fact a Borg drone. So that may be the correct answer.
I'm super did you come prepared with that?
Nope.
Or did you just seriously connect those dots?
No, that is how it works.
I've never, I understand your brain so well right now.
It's all about Star Trek.
That
really.
was instant. That was instant. You're a huge Star Trek fan.
I am, yeah.
That was impressive.
Yeah, well, it made a big impact. Plus, the other thing that sticks in there is this was sort of a Google, project, and the Borg and Google kind of go together in my mind. That sort of sticks out.
I mean, they did remove "Don't be evil" from their mission values.
Yeah,
so.
and resistance is sort of futile.
Yeah.
So I'd say, we got to mention the mobile app. The mobile app is really getting great.
Well, here's my favorite thing, and I talked about it on Monday, but they showed me, because part of our great rewrite, we have a lot of great going on right now, but study groups are being relaunched.
Oh.
And we did just launch new profile pages. We're actually launching so much stuff this month. The team said, hey, let's wait till the beginning of December when we don't have any launches. So we're launching study groups the beginning of December. And it's going to have mobile device support, right? And so it's really cool on mobile device is you can download videos for offline viewing. You want to go on a plane, a train,
nice.
Download them. Listen to them on there. You can study flashcards. It's how I was talking about on Tuesday. I keep saying Monday. I think it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
But on Tuesday, how I started studying Kubernetes the hard way course. I just
Right.
started memorizing the stuff first before going on and learning the hard way.
Yeah.
So study groups relaunching beginning of December. Mobile support's coming. We have App Store, Google Play. We have great mobile teams. So much mobile coming to mobile because of all the APIs. We have all the
Right.
APIs.
Now that the tools are there, might as well
Yeah.
take advantage of them.
All the APIs.
Well, we're not done yet.
Oh, there's a
No.
lot going on.
No, we have more content to launch next week. Right here, this same bat channel, November 13th at 10:30 a.m. That's the Central Time.
So just looking at who our guests are, what I can tell you is this show is going to be focused around DevOps and Linux and containers and OpenStack.
I'm getting that too.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting too.
Yeah.
Good guess. Good guess.
I know, right? Right? It's kind of in there. It's in the cards. Also, enter a free chance to win a year of free training, linuxacademy.com/live. Right there. Go do that. That looks killer. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be back for that.
Yeah, I will say you get free training because you work here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So-
I do. I pick and choose the best ones that I
We
think will
are
fit.
hiring training. You also
That's
check
one
that out
way.
too. Yeah. We love training.
Yeah.
All right,
Hey,
everybody. Well,
Anthony,
this is what's that?
Hold on, one last thing. So I'm being told, and I just want to verify and make sure. We're being told that we might be giving away a free trip to reInvent this year.
I actually have no clue. I'm gonna be honest with you on that one.
That's pretty nice.
That's what I'm being told. I'm being whispered in my ear that at a future live stream that may be happening. So
We're getting the thumbs
that might
up.
be a reason to-
Confirmation.
Why don't you
Might
come
be
in
reason
here
to
and do the
tune in.
thumbs up? Come on. Somebody just
Confirmation.
opened the door.
We had confirmation
Said no.
thumbs up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me
So
too.
that will be happening
All right.
on a future live
Yeah.
stream.
Hopefully one of the early ones, because if you win, you kind of need to plan, and it's like 3 weeks away. So maybe we should aim for that Tuesday
Yeah,
of
maybe.
next week.
It'll be good though.
It's like a $3,000.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. I mean, just the tickets alone are like $900.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, and
I like
then
that.
I think we pay. I don't know. I'm just I'm guessing if we're giving away a free trip, we're going to include that. I hope I'm not stepping on any toes here.
Well, we're going to figure that out because I want to do more trip giveaways too. So
Yeah.
there's all kinds of reasons to tune in next week to live stream.
Absolutely. Check us out. We're going to end the show. Thank you, Linux Academy Training Architect team. Thank you, Linux Academy developers, and everybody at Linux Academy who is working really hard for our students. And thank you, our students. Those of you who have referred your companies, referred your friends, talk about us, love us. You keep us going. It's so great hearing your success stories, passing certifications, getting new jobs, getting raises and promotions. Thank you for choosing Linux Academy. Join us on our live show next Tuesday. We'll see you then.